This now today I'm going to be showing you how to create a subdomain on your free hosting account. Now I also created a video which I talked about how to create an hosting account, but that is not with ProFreeHost. That was done using Bluehost. Now why do I do that video is because ProFreeHost is giving some technicality, is giving us some challenges why the video was going on, because sometimes I want to install a theme and the theme will fail, showing update failed, or also sometimes trying to install plugins and the plugin itself will not be installed, and that is all because the free hosting server is jam packed. It has so many users are on it. The resources is not too okay for what we are trying to work on. Remember I said we are going to be using free host. You can still continue with this free host, but you may be having challenges while trying to install theme or while trying to install plugin. So I'm going to encourage you, if you can, try as much as possible to get a premium hosting account. Now the Bluehost that I curated account for, they have some packages, they have some plan that it's affordable that you can go for. Now in the description box where I explain more about why we are doing this, you will get a link there. Now the link is an affiliate link, and at the same time the link has a price slash that brought some reduction in the amount you will have paid to get the domain, to get the hosting account acquired. So you can use that link to get a price slash for the hosting account you want to get. And also, if you are like, okay, is there any other alternative hosting I can use apart from Bluehost? There are so many other ones you can use, but why I am recommending Bluehost is that Bluehost has so many things, so many functionalities. They have so many supports that will give your website an high security, speed, so many things that your website needs to get what you need a lot for it. So I'm going to advise or recommend you to go for this Bluehost if you have the funds there for you. But if you're like, okay, I just want to learn and I don't want to spend too much in this learning and this training series, so you can just go on with this ProFreeHost to get what to get on in this training series. So I'm going to be showing you here how to create a subdomain. Now why are we creating a subdomain? We are creating a subdomain so that we can have a fresh WordPress installation on that domain name, so that we won't be having like too much of what we don't need for the section we are in this training series. Now this training has been splitted into 5 different parts. We have the part 1, we have the part 2, we have the part 3, the part 4, and the part 5. So regardless of the part you are presently, I will advise you to have a subdomain curated so that you will only install what you need, and what you don't need won't be installed. Because if we are using just a single installation for everything, for example, in our part 1 we talked about the act of web designing. Part 2 we looked at creating a portfolio. Part 3 we looked at building a forum. Part 4 we talked about setting up an e-commerce website, and part 5 we looked at how to create a social networking website. So we don't want to have, because each of those sections we install plugins, we install themes, so having all those things done in a single installation is going to make that set up to be too complex to navigate around. So that is why we are creating a subdomain for each one of those parts. So if you are on a free hosting account, maybe you are learning with, you want to learn with a free hosting account, to create a subdomain on ProFreeHost, all you need to do is first of all log in into your ProFreeHost account. I showed you how to create a ProFreeHost account in the part 1, the act of web design. So if you have forgotten, you can watch that video again where I showed you how to create an hosting account. So log in into your ProFreeHost account to create the subdomain. So go ahead to log in. To log in, just click on this icon. Once you click on that icon, it will expand where you can just log in. You can see, click on login, and if you want to create a new account, you can click on create account. Now once you click on login, just put in your email and the password you used in creating your ProFreeHost account. So if you provide the valid login information, the email and password, you should be able to be redirected to where you can now access the panel. So go ahead and input your login details. Now because the login details I provided was correct details, now ProFreeHost now shows me my admin area for the ProFreeHost account. So once you've done that, to create a subdomain name, you must have set up a primary domain name before. To to set up a subdomain name in ProFreeHost, you must have created an account. You must have created an account before. You can see, remember when we were talking about how to create an hosting account in our part 1 of this training series, we created an account by clicking on this button that says create a new account. Initially then there was no account. We created this in our part 1. That was why we created this. So in case you have not created any account, and maybe you are just creating a fresh ProFreeHost account, remember I said in that part 1 that creating account on ProFreeHost is different from this create new account you are seeing when you log in into ProFreeHost. Now the difference is there is when you create an account with ProFreeHost, which was the login details you provided, your email and your password, to log in to get access to this page of your admin area in ProFreeHost. Now this second account, this account that you are asked to create here, is for your website, the website you are creating on ProFreeHost. So and remember I said that you can create as much as 3 different accounts. You can see this. ProFreeHost give rooms to create 3 different accounts. Here you can create 3 different ones. So to create a subdomain, what you need to do is just to click on manage. Once you click on manage, now don't forget you will be able to see this section if you have already created an account. So in case you are not seeing this, go and watch that part 1 where I explained how to set up an hosting account. Okay, I'm going to drop the link. The link will be displayed on the screen. So click on the link or check it, get in the description section so as to click it and watch that video where I explain how to get that done. So if you have done that already, click on manage. So once you click on manage, you should be able to see control panel. Don't forget I said this is an ad. So this is one of the downside of using free hosting account. So click on close to get out of that page. So once you click on manage, you will be able to see control panel and some other thing you can do on your website. You can see this control panel. Where we are going to exactly is click on control panel. So once you click on control panel, ProFreeHost is going to redirect the page to where we can now work with the control panel. You can see it's redirecting. Can you see redirecting the control panel? So we have to wait for some seconds for that to be done. So once we now you can see this. If you are seeing this, it is because ProFreeHost does not have a valid SSL certificate. That is why you are seeing this error message. So, but you know what you are doing? You are the one who initialized the visiting the cPanel. So just click on advanced. Now, in case you are working on your ProFreeHost account and this shows up, what you need to do is just to click on advanced. Once you click on advanced, it will open a link for you. You can see clicking on advanced opens this up. Proceed to cpanel.0.com. So once you click on advanced, it shows this. So click on this. Once you click on this, you will be moved on to the control panel. So you click on that, then you are asked to confirm. So click on continue to confirm it. So by clicking on continue, you'll be able to access the control panel. You can see it's now loading. The page is coming up. Automatically you will be redirected to the cPanel where you can now create the subdomain name. Now once we create the subdomain name, we are going to also initialize a new WordPress installation into that subdomain. So let us wait for this cPanel to open up. The delay is just because of the network. So once it goes up, you can see our cPanel is now loading. You can see loading. Once loading is done, we can now go ahead to click on subdomain. Now to get the subdomain section, you can just search. You can see find function quickly by typing. You can see just type there subdomain. Subdomain. You can see when I type sub, you can see this get shows up. So click on that. Once you click on it, it's going to open up the page where we create the subdomain. So you can see this says create a subdomain. So in this box here, you type the name of this that you want your subdomain to be. So that name will now be the name dot whatever you want to make as the primary domain name. So let's call this smartphone. No, remember it was smartphone we used for the main website. So let's change the name. Let's call this smartphone 01. Make sure you don't have space in between your naming. So smartphone 01. Now look at these select options that says ProFreeHost. Can you see that? That will be the primary domain name. So your website will now be smartphone01.profreehost.com. Or look, we can change. You can use the same smartphone but we are going to make the primary domain name to be different. You know, the form the our main website was smartphone.ezero.com. We can now use another primary domain for this. So let's take up the 01. You click on this to get the list of primary domain name that we can choose from. You can see this domain name we can choose from. So you can see this blog 22web.org. You can see this was the one we used earlier, is 0.com. So you can choose from any of these. So for this training sake, let's just choose this 22web.org. Can you see 22web? So our domain name is going to be smartphone.22web.org. So once you have chosen what you want the primary domain name to be, click on create to create the subdomain. So click on create. So once you click on create, the subdomain name will be created. Now to see if it has been created or not, just scroll down. Can you see this? This is the domain name. Look at it here. This was a newly created subdomain name, smartphone.22web.org. So once that is ready, let us move on to go and initialize our fresh WordPress installation on it. Now to go back to our cPanel, just click on this icon. Once you click on it, so click on this, click on the this logo of ProFreeHost. So clicking on it is going to take us back to the cPanel. Click on it. So once we get back to the cPanel, we can now run our new installation of WordPress. To run the new installation of WordPress, once the loading is complete, we are going to search Softaculous. Okay, it's complete. Now just search Softaculous in the search box. Remember I said you can start using that search box that says find functions quickly. So click on it. So once you click on it, just type Softaculous. You can see as you are typing the Softaculous, make sure you spell it right. Softaculous. You can see it here. So click on Softaculous. Once you click on Softaculous, you'll be able to get to WordPress, to choose WordPress as the software we want to install into our website. You can see it says we have one active installation, and that was the installation we used for our primary website. Remember, the one we used for the smartphone.ezero.com. So we want to install a new fresh WordPress, so you can just scroll down. Once you scroll down, click on WordPress. Once you click on WordPress, it's going to load up the page where you set up your installation. You can see this. So just choose install now. Can you see? Scroll down to where you see install now. So once you click on install now, the setup will now start. You can see this page has now opened up. Now you can we talked more about this in our part 1, so I won't be digging deep in each of these sections. So in case you want to know more about this, just look at the video, watch the video that we talked about in that part 1. It will be linked in the description box, so you can see that. So just choose the domain. You can see this is the subdomain we created. Do you remember that? Smartphone.22.22web.org. Now if you click on that box, you will see the first domain name we created. Can you see this? This was the one we created for the account itself, the smartphone.izero.com. But because we've created a new subdomain name, we now have this there. Can you see this? Even though the domain name that we use for the site itself, the smartphone.izero.com, is a subdomain to Izero. You know, I explained this very well in our part 1 video series. So watch that and understand better more about this. So choose the subdomain you want to use here, which is this smartphone.22web.org. So click on it, then just scroll down. You can watch the training to learn more about all this, to setting up all this. I explain more about this in that video, so watch it. So just scroll down to where you click install. Click on install. So once you click on install, the WordPress setup is going to be done. So once the installation is done, you can see it's loading. Wow, it's done. So you can see now we now have our installation successful. Now with this, once this is done, all you need to do is just to click on the domain name. Let's click on this. Clicking on this is going to open the home page. Wow, you can see we now have a fresh installation. Remember I talked about this, that the CSS is not loading up here because the free hosting server we are using is too jam-packed with so many traffic, so many people on it presently. That is why the CSS is not loading. So you can just reload the page to see the default design. You can see this how it's supposed to look like normally. So you can see this is now our design. This is our fresh installed WordPress website. So you can also log into your admin dashboard by just using your domain name, the subdomain you created. You can see this smartphone.22web.org, then /wp-admin. So just provide the domain name or the subdomain name you used for your website with the /wp-admin. Once you've done that, enter, and it's going to load up the admin dashboard where you are going to provide your email and password. Don't get this wrong. The email and password you are asked to provide here, it is not the email and password you used for your ProFreeHost. This was the email, the administration email you provided while setting up the WordPress. The administrative email and the administrative password you provided, that is what you are going to use to log in here. It is not the password and username you use for ProFreeHost. So once you provide the admin email and password, you should be able to log in into your dashboard. Now once you log into your admin dashboard, now all you need to, you can see now the page is not loading very well because these are some of the challenges you may be encountering when you are using this free hosting account. But I can assure you that if you are on a premium hosting account like Bluehost, that I talked about, I showed in in the other video. If you watch that and you get the hosting account, you won't be having these challenges. So in case you have these challenges of not loading the full design, you all need to just do refresh the page, reload the page. If you load the page, there is tendency that the design, the colors, okay, you can see it has now come up. So you may be having these challenges. So if you provide the correct email and password, or username and password, you should be able to access your dashboard. And with this is now a fresh installed WordPress installation. This is a fresh WordPress installation that you can now start using for the parts you are presently in this training series. So thank you for your time, and thank you for joining us and the continuity in this training series. Now make sure you do the assignment that has been displayed, the assignment that it is being set for the part you are in this training series. Make sure you go through it, because going through those assignments, doing those things is going to help your understanding to flow along everything we show in this training series. So thank you for your time. Stay blessed. See you in our next class, and